Alright folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you. It always is. Hope you're all having a good day. On to the quarterfinals now for us. We're going to be talking about that very shortly. Before we do, like the video for me if you would. Get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not. Very close to 800 now. I think we're only 4 away. You know what to do, get yourself involved. I'd love to have you. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description and the pinned comments along with the pics and the timestamps. Just touching on that, we did receive a tip from Frank last night, this morning, something like that. I appreciate that, mate, it means a lot. Now that's out the way, we'll get on to these matches, innit? Why not? First things first, Matteo Bellucci, and that makes it 3 in a row for me now, another day, another dollar. Very happy with that. Let me know, did you win, did you lose, did you come close? Share with the group, don't be shy. First things first, back in, it's going to be Romania, isn't it? Romania, Bucharest. First off for us, we've got Christopher O'Connell and Martin Fuskovics. Should be a good one, this. To my surprise, these have actually never played each other before. I think it'll be a good one, you know. I think this will be a tight one. It's got the potential to be a lot tighter than what a lot of people are making it out to be. Christopher O'Connell looked decent against Dusan Lajovic. He looked equally as good against Nicolas Jarry, but you know, I don't know how much weight either of them two wins hold at this current time. Anyway, Dusan Lajovic, alright, could have went either way, but Lajovic just didn't turn up as he so often does. And Nicolas Jarry, as we mentioned, has just been well off the pace this season. So I'm probably not going to read into that one too much. As for Martin Fuskovics, on the other hand, absolutely smoked Lucanari 6-3, 6-1. That could have been a lot closer than what it was. Fantastic there. And then I can't help but feel like Martin Fuskovics has already got through more of a threat in Mariano Navoni than what he's going to face against Christopher O'Connell. That's just my opinion. Close game there. 6-4, 6-4 with the 2 sets that he won, and then 6-4 was the set that he dropped. He is the defending champ over here. He is a slight favourite. I'm seeing around 1.7, 1.6, 1.7. That makes sense to me. I am expecting Fuskovics to go just a little bit deeper. Just a little bit deeper in this tournament. I don't think Christopher O'Connell, he's never really threatened much on this surface, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't mind throwing Fuskovics on a bet, to be honest with you. 1.7, if you can get it at that, maybe wait a little bit. I don't know. I think if you can wait nearer the time, you might get a little bit of a sweeter deal with Fuskovics. I'm not too sure. It'd be the only way I'd be looking in that one. Christopher O'Connell could be good for a set. Who knows? He could win the game. I wouldn't bet on it. I think Fuskovics will be good to go. Like I say, weren't too sure he was going to get past Navone. I thought Navone was not a sleeper for the tournament. I thought he was a very good shout to at least make the final. And well, that was the final last year, weren't it? Them two. And he's beat him again, so I would imagine he's got more than enough to get past Christopher O'Connell. But we'll move on to Sebastian Baez and Francisco Comesaña. I don't know what's going to happen in this. They've played each other twice before. Once in Santiago earlier on in the year. That was a close game. Took a tiebreaker in the third set. Yeah, tiebreaker in the final set to decide that one. It went the way of Sebastian Baez ultimately. And so did the first meeting. Roughly the same as well. 2-1. 2-1. That was back in 2019. Baez, he just about got past Gabe Diallo, didn't he? Just about scraped past him. Alright, it got pushed over into the next day and all that, but I knew he'd run into some trouble against Diallo. Comesaña, I mean, if history's anything to go off, you could probably just take him for a set. He was very dodgy first time out in the first round, extremely dodgy. I was rather confident that he was getting it done against Batista Agut. He did. But it was a bit dodgy as well. You know, he dropped a set in that one. I do think he's been playing good. he's been playing good from what I've seen of him. You know, like the good tennis that we've got from Comesaña this week, I'd say it's been just as good, if not better. I'd probably say better than what we've seen from Sebastian Baez against Gabe Diallo. That's just my opinion. I always say it, yeah, it's not very wise to go against Sebastian Baez in these tournaments. But I would not fancy taking Sebastian Baez at 1.45 in this matchup. I would much rather go with Comesaña for a set. Look, I think Comesaña could beat him, you know. He could beat him. He came very, very close last time. If it's anything like the match over in Santiago the other month, I think we're in for a very tight one, a very close one. You'd say Comesaña, you know, he's played two long games, like they have been long. Probably should have put them to bed a lot sooner than what he did. I can't see Sebastian Baez giving you the amount of chances that the previous two opponents have done. I don't know. It's a rough one. Could be in for an over. This could be an over spot. The last two have flew over. I don't see why this one wouldn't. And then, is that Filip Mislic? Is it? Filip Mislic, Flavio Caboli? What's going to happen here? They've played each other once before. That was 5 years ago. On the clay. In the futures, that went the way of Mislic 6-4, and then a bagel in the second. Again, Flavio Caboli had a very, very slight favourite in this, and he just about, I repeat, just about got past Richard Gasquet. I think Filip Mislic does him. Does. I watched that game that he played against Ugo Carabelli. Ugo Carabelli was a much bigger favourite in that than what Flavio Caboli is in this. And Mislic just munched on him. Absolutely munched on him. Carabelli had no answer for this guy. 6-3 and then 6-1 in the second. Although Flavio Caboli did get that one done last time out, you have to admit he is still not in form yet. Still out of form. One win does not mean you're back. It's his second win, I think, all season. Like his third, fourth win. What's he done all year? Apart from absolutely none. 4-9. Yeah. 1-0 on the clay. Decent little start. Mislic has went 7-3 on the clay this year. I'm telling you, I don't mind taking him. He flew through qualifying. He smoked Shevchenko, and then he's just fucking smoked Ugo Carabelli. He's yet to drop a set. Caboli's already dropped one against Gasquet in the first round. Mislic, anyone? Mislic for a set? I watched them against Ugo Carabelli. He looked really good. He looked good. Now, if he turns up and looks like absolute dump today, I'll be a bit gutted, but if I didn't know any better, I'd say he's going to give it a very, very good go against Flavio Caboli. He looked strong as fuck, boys, he did. He looked very good. Let me know what you think on that. And then there's no odds for it, because it's only just finished, but Pedro Martinez is going to be playing Demir De Zuma as well, so yeah, couldn't tell you what's going to happen in that. Don't know what the price is. You'd probably go with, you'd say lean with Pedro Martinez, but he's just had a bit of a slogfest today with Stan, so I don't know. Maybe Demir's got a little bit more left in the tank to see that one through. We shall wait and see. Then on to Marrakech. Who we got here? First off, Carbias Baena. Nuno Bois head to head 1-0 to Nuno Bois. That was in 2021. Decent from Carbias Baena. Exactly what I expected over on the clay. Got past that guy in the first round, and then he's just got past Otto Virtanen in straight sets. You know, should have been Daniel Altmaier that. Should have been Daniel Altmaier, but no, Carbias Baena has seen him out. Nuno Bois got it done fairly decent against Collignon, but took a tiebreaker in the third. Absolutely drilled him in that tiebreaker. Collignon didn't win a set, but probably a lot closer than what it needed to be. I say that, but as we've mentioned, Collignon does tend to be quite good on the clay. Plays his best tennis, so I don't know. Maybe that's a tougher matchup than what you'd think. Nuno Borges, 1.7 is that? 1.65, 1.7? I wouldn't be so sure about that. I really wouldn't. I know we beat him on the clay 4 years ago. A lot's changed since then. I think both of these have made a lot of improvements since Carvalho loves the clay. He does. I don't see why he wouldn't be good enough for a set. He hasn't dropped one yet this tournament. Yet to drop one. Um, would you be surprised if Nuno Borges gets beat tomorrow? Their odds are very close. That's basically split down the middle. Like, this really is a roll of the dice, in my opinion. I think it's really a 50-50. I'd probably say it swings a little bit more towards the Spaniard in this. I don't know. I think it's we're in for a doggy day today. My senses are going off. They really are. I can sense a couple of upsets here. I say upsets. I mean, there's not a lot of really big underdogs. There's just a few close ones, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of them go through. You have to admit it does make for interesting matches going forward later in the week. But I wouldn't sleep on Carvalho Spain in that one. I really wouldn't. It could be an overspot. Them Nuno Borges games, they usually do. He tends to drop his not confidence. He tends to lose concentration more often than not in these games. Take the over. Take Carvalho Spain for a set. See what happens with that. We've got Sal and Griekspoor, Mattia Bellucci. Obviously, these wouldn't have played each other before. Mattia Bellucci has been really, really good this week, has he not, folks? We knew he'd get it done against Kotov. Slight dog in that. Slight favourite. I got a brilliant price for him last night. I seen that this morning when I got home from work. It was like barely 1.7. 1.86 for that. Absolute steal. Easy as you like. Straight sets in both of them. For that fact, Griekspoor. I said it wouldn't be easy against Carreño Busta, didn't I? 2-1. Decent game. Very decent game. It's a tough one to predict this. It is. Very tough one to predict because Sal and Griekspoor is just Sal and Griekspoor, innit? You know what you're going to get from this guy more often than not. Mattia Bellucci is what I say worries me, but in a good way. I'm cautiously optimistic about this guy. He could turn up today and just absolutely smoke Sal and Griekspoor. You never know. You never know. I think he's been playing better. I think what I've seen from Bellucci in his 2 games, alright, he's had an extra match to prove it. I could be wrong, but he's looked like the better player than what Griekspoor did against Carreño Busta. I'm not too sure. Carreño Busta's going to take his set off you. Bellucci's very explosive. Very explosive. He doesn't give you a fucking minute to rest. He could very well win this one. He could. Now, I'm not too certain, because Griekspoor is one hell of a step up in competition, as opposed to Pavel Kotov and Pierre Hughes Lemon Sherbet. But I don't know, man. I feel like the momentum's most definitely on his side. Sky's the limit for the lads like this. You never know. It's always very fun to roll the dice on the unknown with guys like this. But then again, it would probably be wise to just stick with Sal and Griekspoor in this spot. So, with that being said, although I trusted him today, I don't know if I can trust him to get this one done. It'd be great to see him get this done. It really would. We'll wait and see. And then we've got Alexander Muller and Kamil Majorach. Once again, very close. Pretty much split down the middle. You say Muller, slight favourite. Never played each other before. Call it 1.7 for the French on that one. Decent performance against Hugo Deline. Hugo Deline is no joke. It took 3 sets to get that done. Kamil Majorach, he's been fantastic all week. Smoked everyone, hasn't even dropped a set. Trungelliti, Nagal, Jami Munar, massive one, and then Jesper de Jong, perfect, absolutely perfect. Now, contrary to what the bookies would have you believe there, I think Kamil Majorach, see it is, there's just dogs all day, innit? Dogs. Could be a good one. We can get on the right side of some of these. It could be a very profitable day. been very impressed with Majorach. An extra 3 games under his belt. He's looked solid, man. He's looked solid. He's cruised through the entire week. I would not be surprised to see him give Alexander Muller a very, very good go. Don't see why he wouldn't win a set. A lot of dogs for a set today, folks, as you probably well know. 4-0 on the clay this year, 5-3 for Muller. 14-5 in total, 13-8 for the Frenchman. Very close game. It may come down to the finest of margins. I think both have operated at a very similar level, even though I've seen more from Kamil Majorach. Alexander Muller played very well against Hugo Dellien. I'm expecting more of the same in this one. I don't know, man. I've been saying it all week, and you've got people playing like that, especially at dog prices. I mean, you've probably just got to go with this, haven't you? Kamil Majorach, I wouldn't talk it off taking him on the money line there. It could go either way. Not many easy games left at this point, as you may have noticed. I'd take the dog for a set. I really would. I think he's got more than enough to take a set off Alexander Muller. He's got a few more games under his belt. He shouldn't be struggling with anything like that. I'll take the pull. I'll just go with the pull. And then the other game that there's no odds for, dead quick, it's going to be Luciano Darderi. And whoever wins out of Vic Capriva and Lorenzo Sonego, that may have already finished, I can't see. But yeah. Not only is there no odds, I'm not too sure who it's going to be. And that'll be a tough one anyway. You'd probably side with Luciano Darderi, but if Capriva goes through, that guy's on one hell of a tear. I would not fancy going against him at the moment. And then over to Houston. I'm going to have to go to work very soon, so as of now there's only 2 matches out of the 4 in the quarterfinals. So first one is going to be Jensen Brooksby and Alexander Kovacevic. I don't know, it's going to be very close. Kovacevic has been brilliant all week. Jensen Brooksby, that was a great win, very good win against Alejandro Tabilo. Taro Daniel in the first round, free money. Pulling that back against Tabilo, very good, very good. He could have been done in straight sets there, but instead he pulled it back and won the tiebreaker in the third. Kovacevic has not dropped a set. Pulled off the upset against Echeverry and then was a massive favourite against the French lad last night. They've played each other once before, that was back in 2019, so that's quite frankly irrelevant. I like Kovacevic, done some bits for me earlier on in the season, very good player. I am more than aware of the player that Jensen Brooksby is as well. Ever since I seen him just whip Felix Auger-Aliassime at Indian Wells, I was like, okay, I'll take it. I understand now. You wouldn't have thought he was going to do what he done to Tabilo from the position that he was in. You really wouldn't have. He seems to have a little something extra in moments like that. This probably goes over. I don't know. I say it goes over. Either one of these could win this in straight sets. I feel like they're fairly evenly matched. I don't know. I wouldn't mind Kovacevic for a set. He's usually good for one. And then finishing us off is going to be Tommy Paul and Colton Smith. Very, very impressed with Colton Smith against Ethan Quinn. Very impressed indeed. Tommy Paul, we knew it weren't going to be easy against Christian Garin. We knew that. But fuck me, dropping that first set 6-2, he really struggled with that. Did he not? Really struggled. Took a tiebreaker in the third to get that one done. Now, admittingly, Christian Garin is going to cause you a lot more trouble on the clay than what you would imagine Ethan Quinn would. So that does stand for something. I think Colton Smith's good. I'm realising this now, as I've said a few weeks ago, not really familiar with his game. Only just realising what he's about. I think he can beat Tommy Paul. Christian Garin there, he beat Tommy Paul. I don't know how good Colton Smith is on the clay. He could just be one of the best clay players we've never seen yet. He's went 4-0 so far this year. make it 5-0. Yeah, no, I don't see why not. Tommy Paul never really had that much success on the clay at all. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing to write home about. Fair play, he got it done. Took, good resilience to get that one done against Christian Garin. Many of the others would have just shit the bed and give up in that spot. So fair play to Tommy Paul. He is the favourite to win this, and he still is, I imagine. He's a favourite to win this, call it 1.5. I think he should. I think if he got past Christian Garin, Tommy Paul should probably be beating Colton Smith, I would have thought. I'd have said he's probably the better American, probably the better player. This is one of them spots where it's like, right, okay, there's levels to this. Tommy Paul should be winning this game. It doesn't mean that he will. 1.5 is an ideal parlay piece, but it was an ideal parlay piece against Christian Garin. And he easily could have lost that game. So I don't know. I think he might have an easier time out against Colton Smith, if I'm being honest, but we'll wait and see. We'll see what happens with that. That's going to do us, folks, I think. Yeah, very well then. Very well. I'll be saying good night to you, folks. Best bets, all that stuff. Get yourself involved. Don't know what I'm going for. I never do at this point. I'll have a little look. I'll consult me notes. And then, as always, if there's anything pinned, there's something pinned. If it's not, it's not. That doesn't mean you can't have a go though, folks, does it? Let me know what you're going for. Like and subscribe. One more night shift for me, as a matter of fact. 2 more night shifts, but gotta get ready for that. Duty calls and all that shite. You take it easy, yeah. You take care of yourselves. You take care of one another. Enjoy the matches. Enjoy the tennis. Let's go get that cash again today, and I'll see you tomorrow.